Okay, so I know everybody's probably a little bit confused. Well, some people seem to be a little bit confused. And this is my first time using this mic thing. And it says it's on. So hopefully I don't do too much moving with my ADD and get everybody even more confused. But the sound was rough on the first video, so I figured I would maybe try to provide a little bit more clarity before I dig super deep into this whole situation. But for those who have zero idea what's happening, my name's Christina Parrish, and I worked for a man in Punta Gorda, self-proclaimed most powerful man in Southwest Florida. I believe that's what he said to a prosecutor. Anyways, I worked for Bruce Laishley for years. I was his personal assistant slash do-girl slash cleaner-upper slash you name it. I did everything except for anything sexual. Thank you very much for everybody who has ever assumed that. It is absolutely not true. And to make a little funny out of it, I actually used to introduce myself to people. I believe Gary Bain is one of them years ago. And I would say, hi, my name's Christina. I am Bruce Laishley's assistant who does not have sex with him, or something to that effect. It was catchy, right? So here I am still, Christina Parrish, Bruce's former assistant, and no, I never had sex with him. So now that we can move on from that, or any kind of sex, by the way. Not that there wasn't, plenty of sexual harassment and all of that, like he would have if he could have, but he never could, so that didn't happen. I digress. So I worked for him from 2019. I went through a divorce. He was kind of like a savior, right? Gave me a job, kind of just kept piling on my responsibilities. And with those responsibilities came a lot of Bruce Laishley perks. Tiny bit of background on him. Everyone thinks he owns this town. He does not. Laishley Court or whatever was named after his dad, who was the mayor. Bruce Laishley has never done anything that significant at all. Laishley Crab House, which is owned by smugglers, was not named after him either. It was named basically because of where it was, which is off on Laishley Court, that was named after his dad. So again, no kudos to like Bruce Laishley for that. He is a part of smugglers. He is one of the smaller majority shareholders, actually. Everybody thinks he's the face of everything, but Bruce Laishley actually doesn't own or have majority ownership in any of the things that his name is on. So again, I'm giving just this super, super big overarching kind of like blueprint for all of the details that we'll go into later. For those of you who missed my little rant last week, Bruce Laishley was supposed to be deposed, and apparently the prosecutor, who's not even going to be the prosecutor if it's ever prosecuted, reached out to my attorney and wanted more time. So we are going to reschedule that out of a courtesy to the non-prosecutor on my non-case. So I was going to give a lot more details, which will, in kind of mini episodes, is how my turtle team has, if you guys watch the Karen Reed trial, you'll think that's funny, but I do have my little own turtle team, and they have been the people who from the very jump did not ever flinch and knew that this was complete crap, and I don't want to embarrass them by putting all their names out there yet, but eventually I hope that we get to, because they're baddies, and I'm so thankful for them. But anyways, so my turtle team and I are going to put together mini episodes and air them on TikTok or the like, but within those episodes, we have actual evidence and proofs, screenshots, emails, witness testimony for days. And when I say days, I mean days. This is not even hard at all. But I don't want to give out that information prematurely because, I would love for Bruce Laishley and Brandilyn Laishley and Christopher Farley to keep lying like they have, because I can already prove that they have so many times over. And why a Charlotte County Sheriff's detective would literally make up things in a probable cause affidavit. I was arrested on one man's signature, you guys, literally. Brandy started to work for Bruce. That's his daughter, who never had anything to do with any of the companies before ever. came on to work for him after he terminated me, and I'll tell you why in a second, the real why. And then they called, I guess, Buddy Christopher Farley, and with her Brandilyn Laishley's homemade spreadsheet, handed it to him, and they all three signed it, and I got a probable cause affidavit, and turned myself in upon like having no idea what was going on. Literally like a year ago, 3 days ago, completely flipped my whole entire world upside down. Again, I can't get into super crazy details, but I can tell you that I had no idea up until that day that all it would take was that you can get arrested because Bruce Laishley says you did something and his daughter makes a spreadsheet of expenses. It's literally insane. And then Christopher Farley signs off on it with a freaking notary. Bro, I'm a notary. Like, what are we doing? Insane. Again, it's so hard not to get into more details because it really ticks me off so bad. But I am going to wait, and it's going to be worth it, I promise. I want to touch real quick before I go on the actual termination itself. So I worked for Bruce Laishley in a slew of different ways. And like I said, we will get into all of those things in our little mini episodes, my Turtle Girls. But when I was terminated, this was days after his partner, who I actually used to call him Oz. You know, he was like the man, the brains behind all the things. He's the majority shareholder of every company that he had interest in by far. The smartest man I've ever met in my life. I enjoyed every minute that I had the opportunity to sit across a desk from him and work for a few years. He is, Rick Treeborgi was a real one, and we all miss him a lot. The ones of us, unlike Bruce Laishley, that weren't just using him for his money. So he passes away suddenly. Complete shock. Everything the next few days is a total whirlwind. From the very beginning, Bruce starts asking for weird things, like for me to go into Rick Treeborgi's personal office. And if anyone knew him, he was very reclusive. Like of course, I had keys to his office inside Muscle City. But Bruce had wanted me to go and find a checkbook that I had never written checks out of before and write royalty checks. This would have not been illegal for Bruce to do because he was on this particular checking account. But I did not feel right doing it because I had never written checks out of that account. And like I said, Rick had just passed away. I'm talking 48 hours maybe. I couldn't even go into his office without crying. And that was I'll cry now. That was like a really big ask. And so I said no. Or I think I said I didn't know where it was because I didn't want to do it. And then I told his daughter, who is still reeling from his passing away suddenly. And so then Bruce and his daughter went into Rick's office and rummaged through everything and ended up getting those books, or that checkbook, and writing those checks, which Rick would have never done till the end of the year after he had reconciled all of his counts. But right away, Bruce started acting greedy and nasty and doing strange things. And when he had gotten divorced from Barb in 2019 and I first came on, I helped write the operating agreements or rewrite the shares of the operating agreements because everything was split. And she came on all these different companies. And long story short, I knew the most about them. So he started grilling me about, how was he going to get more shares? He was basically tripping out because he knew that he was going to lose even more interest and he would not get Rick's proxy in all these companies. And he thought he could. So when I told April what was happening, he called me disloyal, freaked out. Like I thought he was going to attack me in the office, throwing things, screaming, cursing at me, calling me names, said he was going to throw my kids out on the street, that he was going to ruin me in Punta Gorda, that I would never work again. And he has, over the past, year or so, done his best to do those things. So this is just my kind of opportunity to tell the truth. Finally, I get to. And he has slandered me. So, I wish I could share more details, and I promise I will. But for right now, that's all I got. So share. This crap can happen to people. It's happening to me. I feel like it's ID channel plus. If I die also in the middle of this, I feel like we all know who to look at, right? Keep me away from Zemmel Road.